that double damage rune. So yeah,
Darkseer will have an easy time on the top lane here. He's not really gonna get harassed that much. The base damage of Mirana is low, and of course Darkseer did manage to pick himself up a shield, so he's gonna be okay. And in kill potential wise, without Sand King being level 3, I think I'm not gonna be able to make anything happen and actually kill him off. On the other side, IX might be in some trouble if he doesn't see Pandago coming from the side. If they get him off there, if they get the poison off and set up for a shackle, then that could potentially be death for him, because they would have the poison coming up, of course. So far level 1 only, but it's just as slow.
Well, it's coming out right here.
2 disables. Yeah.
There's going to be the shackle. It's going to be followed by the slithering crush. The poison goes down. Ice Mike in a lot of trouble. He is going to throw out the zombie. He only grabs Jiggle Billy. Some auto attacks going out. Pandago thinking about grabbing that last hit. He will. That is going to be the first blood going the way of Pandago on the dazzle for E-Hug. Ice Mike playing a little too far forward.
Yeah, that was basically his mistake, because what's the scariest part about being on the aggressive or on the suicide lane is basically crossing that line right there, and he did that, and you know, result is you die, and he learned that. So I think that he's not going to make the same mistake again.
Well,
in the meantime, Darkseer is having a way better time. He's actually able to force the Vengeance Way.
That Ion Shell is so strong, especially now that you can stack them up for an additional net 2 seconds, because it's a 1 second cooldown, which is on each of those Ion Shells that you cast. Reduced, and Darkseer's presence in lane, he's actually going to be hit by the magic missile. He's also going to be hit by the wave of terror. Some reduced armor on him. As Bright comes in for the stun, he's actually going to be stunned out again. The arrow is set up, and that is going to be another hit, and he is going to go down narrowly before SNA takes the damage. SNA getting away with like 19 health. Wow.
So close. 1 extra Ion Shell would have done the trick there, and he would have almost gotten a double kill as well.
1 extra, yeah, even Wizard Creep attacking off there would have at least made it a 1-for-1. But yeah, the Centaur is playing farther back, like you said. Learned his lesson. The Templar Assassin is controlling the rune for the time being, which is tremendously helpful. TA is going to have a little bit of trouble in this lane, starting soon. Once that Flame Break gets up, or excuse me, the Flame Guard gets up, that's going to make those refraction charges much less durable. There's another move here on Cakes, but they're not going to be able to follow it up. The Surge just too much to overcome. So TA trying to get as much dominance in her lane right now while she can, because eventually this Ember Spear is going to start to take the lead.
Yeah, so far TA 18 now to 6, while Justin is sitting on 14-2 on his Ember Spirit. And did we actually introduce the players at all? Because
you know what?
We did not.
I think we did not. There's going to be a big engagement up here. The arrow does land from far distance. That's going to be Cakes going down again. Cakes is taking that off lane purple soldier, the Darkseer. We've got Pandago on the second purple man. He's going to be taking that dazzle. Justin is flaming around on that Ember Spirit. And, of course, we've got I'm a Sheep Sucks taking that Shadow Shaman, and Jiggle Billy stomping around on the Slardar. Why don't you go ahead and take SNA?
Well, AX Mike, who's now a lot happier now that his counterpart offlane has died twice. He's playing the Centaur Warrunner, which already, of course, gave first blood earlier on. We've got Ice DOTA playing on the Templar Assassin in the middle lane. Doing okay for the moment, but as you said, we'll probably be hitting a rough patch quite soon once that Flame Guard goes up. And then the duo support combination is Whitebeard on the Vengeful Spirit, already stacking in the jungle here so that his cores can farm that later on. And Fluff going under the name of Bright on the Sand King. And last but not least, farming it up on the top lane, Mirana, SNA DOTA playing there. And he's got some nice farm coming in. But comparing him to the Slardar puts Mirana very far behind him. Although, of course, Mirana has been involved in 2 kills, while Slardar has only been involved in 1.
Yeah, the net worth for that Mirana is only about 200 behind the Slardar. But the thing is, Mirana typically, she gets going earlier, but in terms of overall game presence, she doesn't do as much with gold as Slardar does. Gold on Slardar is scarier than gold on Mirana, just typically. Wow, Ush taking a lot of damage here in the mid. She does not have a refraction up. She does have the meld if she needs to use it, and she's going to get away with 60 health. Justin did not have the mana pool in order to really assert himself and grab that kill. However, he will force Ush to use the bulk of his bottle charges, if not all his bottle charges, right away, tying up the Dire Side Courier, which is a very effective way of hurting that team.
Yeah, I'm surprised that that Justin is not going for Flame Guard at all at the moment, even though, of course, the steering change takes some of that refraction off as well. It's just a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
To use it on that.
Yeah, it's surprising to me too, just because that refraction is such a potent skill, and if you've got a way to knock it down very quickly with an AoE ticking effect, such as that Flame Guard, it's very, very potent. It's Justin not really wanting to go that way, possibly because he doesn't really want that Flame Guard for the mid game. There's not a ton of magic damage coming out of SNA, but there is a ton of physical damage, so maybe he's just hedging his bets on being able to output physical damage sooner and not doing quite as well in lane.
Yeah, talking about being in lane, I mean, it's a bit of a stupid segue, but Jiggle Billy is doing so well that I'm actually thinking, like, did SNA not make the biggest mistake to not go for an aggressive tri-lane? Because this Slardar, he actually, what did he do with his gold? Where is it? He did not buy his Blink Dagger. What did he buy? Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah,
oh,
he's gonna Midas
like
it up.
at all. He's gonna Midas recipe. You know, I understand why, because he's getting farm anyway, and they have the late game anyway, so they don't need to rush anything, so it is safe but secure. But I think that he could have made a lot of things happen with that Blink Dagger if he would have gone for it. But he actually has his Midas ready right now. 6.5 minute Midas for him.
There is going to be a Shackles and Ice Spike under the tower, but Jiggle Billy not even interested. He walked up and then walked away. And that is going to be 6:33 on the first use for that Midas for Jiggle Billy. That's honestly kind of late for Slardar to be getting it out at this level of play too. Like, if you are going to rush a Midas on a Slardar, ooh, Pandago, where are you going, buddy? You're going to be Scion Trap, taking a lot of damage from that Refraction Meld combo. He's going to grave himself. There's the damage, or the stun coming out of Bright. Bright's also going to throw up the Sandstorm, making sure Pandago is going to go down. He grabs that kill. Justin now getting caught by the Psionic Trap. He's going to get caught by another Psionic Trap. He has no mana. He cannot get away. There's going to be the stun coming out of Whitebeard Dota, and there's some additional damage going out. He's trying to get away, but he will not be able to use that Remnant. However, he can come back to lane very quickly in 20 seconds to that Remnant, which will be helpful, as there is TP reactions, but no additional harm done to the SNA squad.
Yeah, very awkward vacuum coming out from Cakes. Missed that one, but, you know, he could have at least tried. I guess that is noble of him to try and maybe do something, get some revenge from his teammate. While this is all going on, by the way, Mirana is actually happily farming top by herself, only now getting stopped a bit by Pandago, but she got some free farm going, so she caught up a little bit to be closer to that Slardar. She's still about 7 lasses behind.
In the mid lane, I jumped over just in time to watch TA go down to a very, very nice activate Remnant, but continue what you were saying about the Mirana.
Well, no, that was actually, I was just about done, but she is actually catching up a little bit. She's, of course, not going to outfarm a Midas, and I really hope that she is not going to go for a Midas of her own, because they don't have late game, so they can't really bank on late game. But it's at least nice that she is able to put some more work in, and I'm looking forward to when SNA thinks they can actually do some more, and perhaps it's only going to be when IX gets a blink, which seemingly is pretty far away from now. Even though he already has his ultimate, we already saw him using it as well to try and save the Templar Assassin, which kind of failed, of course. So what's Justin doing?
He's coming in with a haste rune, and he will be coming behind the farming Sand King, who's trying to knock down stacks with Sandstorm. He knows that he's here, but he can't do anything about it. The Moonlight Shadow is actually going to cover up his retreat. The Bull is missing because of the neutrals. Very, very nice. And Bright's actually just going to one-man hit that Centaur to make sure it goes down. The Ember Spirit's going to be forced to retreat, and that's a huge waste of his time. He spent a good 45 seconds setting that up.
Yeah, he even almost got a courier and then decided not to chase it.
Meanwhile,
as Mirana gets a solo kill.
She was down here with the Centaur, managed to grab that Slardar. So
yeah,
it was a very nice rotation on that Slardar, though. We did miss it because of the... Oh my gosh. And then in the mid lane, Justin does manage to grab a kill onto the Templar Assassin, which is also an important kill. So, missed 2 important kills all in a row. My apologies.
No, that happens sometimes, especially, like, these two teams, they're both pretty active in terms of, or right now in terms of kills. We saw it in the previous game as well, where at the start they were quite passive, and then all of a sudden all hell broke loose. So I'm expecting the same thing to be happening right now. Although from Ehawk, maybe not so much, as an arrow flies in.
Oh, that creep. And it's going to be denied. That cross-map creep deny. Very nice. Yep, and so far Ehawk is basically, they're going to sit back. They're going to force SNA to try and push into him, because the longer they can extend this early game farming period, the better off they're going to be, especially since they have that Midas.
Sand King has got a 9.5 minute Blink Dagger as a support Sand King. This is huge. This could be the turnaround, as in turnaround. There's not really any side going, like this game is not going either side just yet, but this could be the thing that SNA was waiting for to start making some big plays here, because with a Blink Dagger on Sand King, you definitely can make some big plays. They smoke up instantly. Yeah, very nice play, making sure that jungle was open for the Sand King. That's one of the reasons the Centaur War Runner makes sense here, because as an offlaner, he can't retire to the jungle very effectively anyway, which means you're guaranteed to have that open for the Sand King to grab his Blink Dagger up. Unfortunately, Centaur War Runner not having quite the early game that he was hoping for. There's going to be the Ion Shell on the dusted up Cakes.
They're coming in. They're going to go ahead and find Ush. This refraction not going to last long with the Ion Shell here. There is going to be the shackles, some additional damage coming out. A meld is coming, but it's not going to be enough as the vacuum secures the kill on TA. Very nice rotation. There's going to be a TP reaction to top from the Darkseer. Now Cakes trying to get Sneaky Boys off this tower before it gets into deny range. Oh, at this point in time, maybe it's a better idea to let that catapult just crank away. Meanwhile, a mid tower push is also going down in the mid lane. And in the bottom lane, Vengeful Spirit. Nope. Where'd that happen? You got the Illusion Rune in the bottom rune spot. As Mike pushes the bottom.
Yeah, they killed off the Slardar. They actually used that Burrow Strike Blink combination to get the Slardar, and they were successful at it too.
Why was that? What was happening?
At the same time as the Templar Assassin dying.
What was happening that Stampede was needed? Because they were retreating from one hero in the bottom as a 3-stack. But they were well enough away.
They were thinking maybe there were more people around. And they were out of mana as well. They used all their spells already. Sand King and Venge were both kind of low on everything, as they used everything to kill off that Slardar earlier on. Yeah,
take a look at the vision too. Like, SNA's vision is pretty abysmal right now. They even have the camp blocking ward here, which is a great ward for if you are up against a jungler and also need vision of the rune. But it's not a great ward for the mid game. It doesn't give you any useful vision for ganking. It doesn't tell you when people are here. Actually, they didn't even put it on the blocking spot. So it's not going to block the camp. It is just going to give vision up into this spot. They will see that haste rune pop up, though, so that's nice. But compared to that, E-Hug has a significant amount more vision, at least for time being, though it does look like they just had some ward expire. So they need to get out and replace that very soon.
Yeah. The biggest difference at the moment is, of course, that tower just going down mid lane on the side of SNA. And they are the teams that is supposed to be making the plays. They are the team that does not have the favorable late game. So they need to be making the plays. They need to have the extra vision to try and catch out people from E-Hug. As E-Hug is actually going on the offensive right now on the top lane by the looks of things.
Yeah, it looks like they want to go ahead and push the issue here, which is kind of interesting to me, considering the longer they buy Justin time to farm, the better off. But Justin's up here trying to push a tower instead of farming. I guess this is opening up space in the jungle for Jigglebilly, which is nice, but he's just sitting there fake stomping over and over and over again, doing nothing. He was waiting for the stack, but it's just silly to watch him down there wasting time like that. The Bolus is going to go off, and there's some additional damage to fire. Ember Spear is going to go and throw that out, but he is going to go down. That's 2 down. Bright also going to go down. That's a 2-for-1 so far as they do chase off after the Dazzle. Pandago throwing out the Poison Touch as there is the Shackles going on Mike. A nice swap is going to keep him out of danger's way. Jigglebilly coming up trying to secure something, but the swap kept the Centaur out of trouble, and that's going to be a 2-for-1 in favor of SNA. And that's exactly why it's surprising to me that E-Hug is even bothering to initiate into towers right now.
Yeah, on the other side, if SNA would have not made that into a favorable trade for them, they would be very far from home, because obviously they were outnumbering E-Hug because they actually brought in IX Mike, who now finally has his Blink Dagger because of that engagement, so that's nice for him. But they were 5 versus 4ing, so if they would not have had a favorable engagement, that game would have almost been over for them, because Slardar indeed wasn't even in that fight. Space was created. He did go top in the end. He does also have enough gold for going for Blink Dagger again if he still wants it, and he's sitting now as well. I would still like to see him buy it. There we go. Thank you very much. I mean, now you have a hand of Midas Slardar that can actually fight and participate, because he's not that far behind on the rest in terms of gold. I mean, yeah, part of it is in the hand of Midas, but he still can fulfill his role. In terms of levels, he is not that far ahead, though. He's actually level 9, while level 10/11 is the highest on the map.
Yeah, the Midas hasn't had a chance to pay off yet in levels, but it will. The thing is, though, SNA still holding level control. They're just down on gold. There's going to be the stun coming out of Jigglebilly. He missed the blink, it looked like. It was just off my screen.
He missed the blink. He wanted to blink Crush. They were close together. He started and he forgot to blink. That's a shame.
Did he not blink at all, or did he blink